All right, now let's take this conversation further. Then we are now joined via Zoom by Police and Prisons Civil Rights Union spokesperson, Mr. Richard Mamabolo. A very good afternoon to you, sir. Thanks very much for joining us here on SABC News.
Good afternoon.
All right, let's start here. We understand that POPCRU said that it is in a process of canvassing membership for a mandate on whether to strike or not, and that union leadership will indeed communicate by the end of the week. Where are you exactly in this process, and basically what are your members saying?
Yes, the question is not about whether we're going to strike or not. We definitely are going to strike. The question is mainly about coordinating with other unions within the Joint Mandating Committee of COSATU, but as well as other public sector unions within different other federations. We have been working as a bloc, and we think that our joint protest will have a much bigger impact. So details around that are being worked out, and there will soon be an announcement around our course of action.
Yeah, what were those coordinating challenges that you're sort of touching on there?
Look, the first thing is that we have been engaged on lunchtime pickets, and of course, in whatever decision we take, we need to ensure that everybody is on board, including those federations which are outside of COSATU. So this is exactly the process that we've been undertaking, but as well as ensuring that our structures internally are thoroughly briefed around what has been going on, the processes that have been followed, and where we are now. So those are some of the engagements we've been having with our structures.
All right. And I mean, much of POPCRU's membership in the public service is employed in areas that constitute what is essential services. Are you not concerned about the possible implications of that? And if you can't strike, in a sense, how are you going to make sure that, government does indeed feel the pressure without, of course, putting people's lives at risk? Especially, as we're entering the festive season, there's a lot of concern, and we've seen, the increases in crime as we head to the festive season.
Yeah, look, I think the threat around essential services has been used quite a lot by government in threatening workers. We must emphasize that not all workers within the SABC are essential services, and essential services does not take away the right of workers to strike. There's, in fact, there was a court judgment by the Concord back against the SABC, wherein they said that there should be a minimum service level agreement, wherein you can then define as to whether in the SABC certain functions are essential or not. For example, if HR department and many other departments within the SABC are not necessarily essential. The only essential part would be on the police, police who actually do police work, on the ground. So it's not true that all the entire SABC is essential. That includes DCS as well. So of course, when we do go to a strike, we will consider all those factors.
Yeah.
But the reality is that the majority of members within those departments would be able to go on strike. And of course, those who are on duty as well can continue with lunchtime pickets, and others, of course, can take leaves.
Yeah, point taken. But let's then talk about the police specifically. Then the ones that you say aren't necessarily, falling under that particular bracket of essential. Is there some sort of a bargaining tool? I'm talking about the timing, where you time it in such a way that it is closer to a time where so much is needed from the police. Boots on the floor, really, boots on the ground, really sort of needed at this particular time. As I mentioned, the fact that it is that time where we're heading towards festive season. We've seen, over the years where sometimes malls are targeted and shopping centres and so forth. Is that used as some sort of a bargaining tool for you?
For any strike to really have an impact, it should have, of course, government should feel the pain, really. I think, the arrogance that has been displayed by specifically this communist minister called Lebombo has angered workers to an extent wherein, for us, we would obviously want to make a point that the imposition of this 3% is not satisfactory, and whether it's regarding the time, considering the time that police are usually needed or not, that is neither here nor there. The point of the matter is that our members' conditions of living have been degrading, and of course, despite the fact that there are these current challenges now, policing has always been under a lot of crisis. You remember that the staff complement has been on a decline for years now.
Yeah.
So it does not necessarily change the fact that our workers are suppressed currently.
Yeah. You have indeed asked for, I believe, a 10% wage increase, and government has come forward saying they can do, I believe it's at 4% wage increase for the 2022-2023 financial year. You've obviously rejected that. Talk to us about, in your rejection, what exactly you then said.
That is another fallacy by this Euro-communist Tulas Mercy, because remember, on the 3rd of October, government withdrew its offer of 3% at the SABC. Now, this led to a process wherein a conciliation process had to take place, which took place about 2 weeks ago, and still we could not find each other. So we have since then went to our initial demand of 10%, and at the time when they withdrew their 3% offer, it then meant that they were offering nothing as opposed to the 3% that they keep speaking about. Just this week again, there was a speculation of a notice that they would be implementing the 3%. So that clearly means that they have taken a unilateral decision. So we cannot allow for this precedent to be set, because it means that even in the next year of negotiations, whenever there would be disagreements, they will continue to implement without engaging workers. Then that renders collective bargaining useless.
Yeah. All right. Richard, thank you very much for giving us your time, sir, here on SABC News. Richard Mamabolo is the Police and Prison Civil Rights Union spokesperson, of course, speaking on the back of that PSA strike.